Planned slow neutralization of Nnamdi Kanu. Igbo political betrayal and the struggle for Biafra decolonization. The decolonization of Biafra from the lingering British delusion of holding the Biafran people perpetually in bondage is at the heart of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's struggle and suffering. Today, the IPOB leader is slowly dying in the dungeon of the Nigerian Department of State Services, DSS, for daring to lead his people towards freedom. Unfortunately, many Igbo politicians have reduced themselves to sycophants and willing tools for the continued marginalisation and suppression of Biafra within the contraption called Nigeria. Surely, history has already recorded their betrayal, and generations of unborn Biafrans will never forget the roles they played in sabotaging this noble cause championed by Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, leader of the Indigenous People of Biafra, IPOB. Acts of betrayal. Operation Python Dance. Igbo politicians facilitated the military invasion of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's home in an attempt to silence him and crush the agitation for Biafra. Proscription of IPOB. They were the masterminds behind the proscription of IPOB as a terrorist organization, while their northern counterparts shield Fulani terrorists and bandits facilitate their government pardon. But IPOB members have been abducted, detained, and killed. Extraordinary rendition. These same politicians played a hand in the abduction of Nnamdi Kanu from Kenya and his illegal transfer to Nigeria. They hoped to use false witnesses and kangaroo trials to jail him, but IPOB's legitimacy and discipline frustrated their plans. Blindfolded and bound, Kanu was poisoned in custody, left to die slowly. Infiltration attempts. They recruited infiltrators to weaken IPOB. Yet, the movement's strict code of conduct and disciplinary structure have consistently exposed and separated the chaff from the wheat. The IPOB struggle for Biafra is a legitimate quest for political independence, self-governance, and the reassertion of indigenous culture, language, and identity, an aspiration that intensified after World War II and the wave of global decolonization. Despite persecution, IPOB has remained committed to nonviolent resistance. The movement continues to build institutions, preserve cultural legacies, and educate Biafrans to decolonize themselves from the One Nigeria brainwashing mantra. For over a century, Biafrans have suffered under the shackles of death, pain, and systemic exploitation. At the root of this lies the British neo-colonial agenda, aimed at controlling Biafra's abundant natural and mineral resources. This is why Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was kidnapped and remains incarcerated. The call for freedom. House Biafra deserves self-rule and political sovereignty. B. If the United Nations and the Soviet Union could support global decolonization after World War II, then IPOB's demand is just a UN-supervised referendum for the people of Biafra to decide their future outside colonized Nigeria. The world should be aware that silently killing Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is part of the British-Nigerian plan. By eliminating him and leaving Biafra to the same sycophantic Igbo politicians, they hope to hand over a weakened, unstable state with fragile institutions and stunted growth. But they should be aware of the unimaginable consequences too. IPOB's resilience has shown that Biafra is not built around one man alone. It is a people's movement, a collective call for freedom, justice, and survival. So there are more than 1 million more Nnamdi Kanu out there who will ensure that Nigeria suffers greatly for their atrocities. Family Writer Press International.